What is the best way to share knowledge gained in personal study? By John Stonecker. In my search to answer this question, I was led to an article by Richard G. Scott, published on August 21st, 2007, to learn and to teach more effectively. Quote, "And as all have not faith, seek ye diligently, and teach one another words of wisdom. Yea, seek ye out of the best books words of wisdom. Seek learning even by study and also by faith." End quote. D&C 88 118. There are multiple of available paths through which we may learn and be perfected. Some of these include formal study, pondering, analysis, personal experience, careful observations, mentoring by others, observing outstanding role models, serving willingly, and learning from our own mistakes. It would be unrealistic to attempt to identify, even in headline form, the multitude of avenues through which knowledge flows and experience is gained. Continued from to learn and to teach more effectively. It is evident that knowledge is power. Some use it to their own personal advantage. Many of these employ knowledge improperly, severely limiting others in the use of their agency. Yet there are those whose learning, experience, and talent are used to lift, encourage, motivate, and bless others around them. I feel confident that you are among that group. Not only will you benefit from your invested time and effort here, but others will likewise be helped by how you apply and share what you learn. Any student of history is aware that the restoration of the church, with its pure doctrine, priesthood authority, and divine guidance, initiated an avalanche of discovery, enlightenment, and inventions that continue to powerfully lift mankind. Out of perspectives in the history and philosophy of education, I got, they are always looking for the man in the child, without considering what he is before he becomes a man. It is to this study that I have chiefly devoted myself, so that if my method is fanciful and unsound, my observations may still be of service. I may be greatly mistaken as to what ought to be done, but I think I have clearly perceived the material which is to be worked upon. Begin thus by making a more careful study of your schedules, for it is clear that you know nothing about them. Emily, by Jean Jacques Rosa something. When a Catholic does When a Catholic does the Stations of the Cross, much more is being undertaken than the appreciation of a series of pictures. Basic structures of consciousness are being revitalized. Emotional commitments deepen, moral feelings reinforced. The teacher organized displays in French primary classrooms have comparable purposes and arouse comparable responses. They are there as a public statement of what must be known and respected. Conjugations and adjectival agreement are not simply to be learnt, and remembered. They are also to be experienced as right. Dates in French history and the map of France are not simply to be known, they are to be identified with. When children enter the classroom and survey the wall, they are intended to feel the significance of the messages conveyed by the displays, to be personally involved with them, to care about them. Hmm. Protestant Ethics and Spirits of something by Sharp. Continuing from the perspectives in the history and philosophy of education, a much greater tendency to relate teaching to perceived pupil and group need was apparent in English classrooms than in French ones because, for the most part, French pupils were typically engaged in the same task for most of the time. In England, the whole approach was typically found to be much more active and emphasized discovery based learning. The teacher often appeared to be encouraging creative thinking, whereas in France, the effort was more likely to be directed towards leading children to the correct answer. 0111. Balance. English teachers appear to be concerned to encourage creativity and inventiveness, giving clear priority to the understanding of principles and concepts. French teachers, in contrast, placed a strong emphasis on acquiring knowledge through rote learning and were more concerned to achieve pupils' conformity to a common goal. The Brisk Studies, Broadfoot, ETAL, 1993, page 71 through 70 through 71. Protestant Ethics and Spirits of Achievement by Sharp. This is where I got that from. Teachers in England were more likely to use questions in a way that built upon children's responses until the desired result was achieved. Whilst French teachers would typically reject a child's response if it was not the exact if it was not exactly what they wanted. Again, from the Broadfoot study in 1993, presented by Sharp. And anyone who makes a post on my graffiti wall that I find helpful are included into my presentation. So this post was given to me by Cabria Price. I think the best way to share knowledge gained in personal study is to teach it to others. It is shown that knowledge learned is better retained when either applied in experience or in teaching another person that very same thing. Also, if it is something applicable to your life, then living it is probably the best way to share it with others by example. In conclusion, we've learned that regardless of which road one chooses to follow while learning and sharing that knowledge, they should be encouraged to follow it to the finish. We do not only gain knowledge and wisdom for ourselves, but for all as we but for all as we share it. Even things that we do not believe are related can prove to be so later. Everyone that we teach will become someone in the future. So we must see who they can be versus who they are now. Everyone has a different way of how they teach. Not wrong, just different. One must take time to learn how those they teach learn as to make a lesson more personal to the student. Thank you. Have a good day.